time for your weekly dose of pop culture
with Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
Oh man, I have really messed up. I apologize. I had a whole countdown timer thing going, and I was supposed to be sharing my screen, and then I looked on my other device to see where we were, and it looks like I wasn't sharing it. So thank you, technology. Hello and welcome to the show. I cannot hear you. Why are you muted? Okay. I'm not quite sure why you're muted. It's saying my mic is not connected. I'm having some the nth degree.
Oh, I'm here, and I'm not muted anymore. Hey, everybody. I'm Kenny, and this is Kathy and Kenny's Explain Pop Culture.
You sound really low. Is that
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah, the sound. How low do I sound? How low can you go? How low can you?
Okay. This is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. And tonight is very exciting because we are explaining musicals. And for years, I would say I hate musicals, but in all honesty, I think that is not true. Turns out I am quite the musical fan, and I use a different criteria. And I guess you've added to the list, so I have a different list. So I'm going to probably be way off from what we talk about tonight, but I'm going to again do my best to kind of stay on point.
Okay, well, here's the thing. According to our list, we have 14 songs apiece that we think are the best musicals.
14 songs or 14 movies?
14 movies, rather, apiece that we think are the best musicals. We're going to start from the bottom and go one-on-one and work our way to the top and see who's got the best number one movie. So there might be one or two duplicates on where we put our movies in our list, but there is one duplicate. But, we're not going to talk about that right now because it is what it is. You don't know what you're talking about, and I do. But go ahead.
Okay. I was going to go through the list, and for the duplicates, we could do a special section at the end of all the ones that we have that are kind of like duplicates and things that we, both kind of have on there. We do want to invite you, if you have a movie musical that you are a big fan of and we don't mention, because I know there's some classics that I know didn't make the list. So spoiler alert, The Sound of Music is not on our list of musicals. I think we're going to be making some enemies tonight.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of The Sound of Music.
And okay, see, now here's the thing. I had a certain criteria. I actually felt like the musicals that I could sing along to and that I really kind of could vibe on and get into, those are the ones that made my list.
And that's the way I did my list. The musicals that I could vibe to and I have memories about and things like that. Like I have one musical on here that is a great memory for me and George because we used to watch it all the time when he was a kid.
Oh, I totally know which one you're talking about. And you know what? I am going to I don't have our list up per se. So I don't have the list that I probably should bring that list up because I think you've made some changes since I looked at it last. Have you?
Not only, I just updated it.
Okay, see, you go in there and you start updating the list, and then I'm all behind, and then I have no clue what you're talking about.
I didn't update your half. I rearranged my half.
Oh, okay, all right.
And then also, not only are we doing movies, but we're going to do a side segment of musicals that were made for TV and musicals and musical TV shows.
All right. So you got all the criteria. Again, the number is on the screen if you want to call and be a part of the show. 704-252-8813. We also, I think, will put up in the comments if you want to stream and even be on air with us. Although it gets wonky. So whenever I bring 3 people in, then all of a sudden everything's
Bruce,
blurry and nobody
Bruce,
can see
Bruce.
me.
What is Bruce's problem?
Wait, what?
I can't with you. I can't even with you two. What? What?
What did we do wrong now? Uh,
What did we do wrong,
I'm the one who
Bruce?
hates musicals, but yet, and again, it was. I guess it's because we didn't have the Sound of Music on the list. That is the spoiler alert. The Sound of Music is not on the list. So, Kenny, where do you want to go? Do you want to go with these made-for-TV musicals first? Because to me, they're
Yeah.
anticlimactic. So I think we should start
Okay.
with them. And actually, I'm probably going to let you take the screen because I don't even know half of these. So
Okay. So I
I,
didn't put.
I'm going to
There's
go
a lot
print
of.
out the new list.
Okay, put out the new list, and we'll get back to you, Kathy. And now I'm going to go over made for TV musicals and musicals that are musical TV shows. Now, there's some that I didn't mention here. There's some that I did not mention. I didn't get all of them. We don't have all the time in the world for all of them, but I got the ones that I knew about and that were significant things that I watched. So, a movie, The Jacksons, The American Dream, The Temptations movie. We talked about those 2 last week. We talked about biopics. The Descendants is a Disney movie, and it's a franchise. I think they went to 3. The Descendants with the kids in the Disney movies. A lot of these are Disney movies. Another movie was Rags. It was a movie called Rags, and it's kind of like a Cinderella story with a guy who went from rags to riches, or with a singing, and they had to find out who he was. Kind of like a Cinderella story. Let It Shine. The young man who plays on Everybody Hates Chris. The Christopher Rock show. He was starring in that. The High School Musical 1 and 2. And Lemonade Mouth, which is a great movie. High School Musical 1 and 2 and Lemonade Mouth are Disney movies, and they're all 3 of them are great. TV show, of course, we got Glee.
Glee. See, I had to come back on because I was a big fan, and I love me some Glee.
I never watched Glee. The girls like Glee. I never watched Glee. No, I was never interested.
You know what's not on here, and that's kind of I think I would classify it as a musical. Zoe's Infinite Playlist, which is a TV show that kind of inspired me to start doing a Saturday night show while we were in quarantine, because
Okay.
I would post 80s movie music, and that's kind of how this whole show evolved or stemmed
Oh,
from.
really? I've never seen that show. That's why I didn't put it in there. Victorious is a nice show about kids who grew up in a performing arts school, and there's always a song and dance. Now I want to put one of the original TV
And what
musicals on
show
there.
is that again?
Victorious.
Oh, Victorious. Okay, is that a
Yeah.
Disney one too? Because that doesn't
That's
sound
that's
familiar.
on Nickelodeon. That's on Nickelodeon.
See, I'm showing my age because I came of age before Nickelodeon was big.
Well, I got
and I
one,
didn't have little kids like you did.
Yeah, I got one, though. I consider this the original musical TV show, The Monkees.
Hey, we're the Monkees, definitely.
And
Love the Monkees.
Yes, The Monkees, a great, awesome
That
show.
was something just
Now,
quintessential
something
about,
that
coming home after school, like the after school shows. It was the
and
Brady
one of them was
Bunch,
the Monkey,
and
Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island. Of course, I also watched the Mike Douglas show and the talk shows. And see, Kenny, Bruce is calling us out. This is why Bruce is not
Bruce. I can't feel you on that. I'm not feeling that at all, Bruce.
And again, I do know the songs and can sing along, but what else? You got a couple more here.
I got a couple more.
And again, I don't know.
Big Time Rush is kind of like an updated Monkeys almost if you watch it. Hannah Montana with, of course, Miley Cyrus, and of course, Kathy, Fame, the TV show.
Fame, yes.
With Janet, and I only put that on there because Janet Jackson was on there. And a show called Austin and Alley. So that was a Disney show. So yeah,
more the Disneys. All right. So that is the made for TV list. So let's dive into our musical list. And I don't know. Do you want to start at the bottom? You do one, I do one. And I know we
ladies first.
And again, I won't do. I know the one at the top of your list is on my list, so I won't even do yours. But on my list at number 10, I do have
14.
Hamilton, and I know it's not a movie like in the traditional sense. I believe they might be making a movie of Hamilton, but the Disney Plus, and again, if you have Disney Plus, you can screen it, and just about, I think if you have Verizon, you get a year of it for free. So
Yeah.
unlimited Verizon
Um,
for a year of Disney Plus.
I'm a,
Check out Hamilton. If you didn't get tickets to the show, this is probably better than sitting in those tight,
yeah.
cramped theater seats. Broadway seats are
I'm
not the
going to
best. Wh-
I'm going to make some enemies here. I got up
Okay.
when I watched him when I got to when I watched Hamilton. I got up to intermission, and I haven't gotten past intermission. It got kind of slow for me.
You know what? There are some parts that drag, but you know what? You got to come back after intermission. There are some great numbers after intermission.
After the
Tell me
wedding,
how to say no to this. That's after you have to go back and watch after intermission just for tell me how to say no to this.
after the wedding, I
Any
kind of lost
any
it.
Hamill fans out there, if you are out there, please shout me out in the comments. Also, I know some of you tune in and listen on Kenny's feed. If you go to our page on Facebook, Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture, or visit KWalk Comedy on YouTube and find us there. Google on YouTube, Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. Please, by all means, leave a comment, because again, it's those comments that we can actually post and and and
Excuse me.
and shout you out. And thank you again for being here. But Hamill fans, if you are out there, and again, I know there was some language in it, so I know it's probably not one for the kids, but there are just some really great musical numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
not
yeah.
a rap
A couple.
fan per
Yeah.
se, but I do think the rap had a very old school 80s rap vibe to
Yeah.
it,
It did. It did.
which
It did.
uh, I I appreciated. And again, the history is not on point, but you know what? That's why they make books.
Yeah.
Read them, but
Read the book.
but I still think it was a very well done musical. And you know what? If it does come to Charlotte, if we do get to a point where we're not in um pandemic
Quarantine.
pandemic
Yeah.
mode
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah,
quarantine,
pandemic. Well,
uh,
yes.
I'm putting that on my list. So next summer, if the fates allow, I would love to trek to New York. So my New York peeps, I'm coming, and I guess I probably will be easy to get some Hamilton tickets right now.
Yeah. It would be.
So
Um.
okay, go
On
ahead.
my
'Cause
list.
I just spent 20 minutes on Hamilton, but it is that good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hang in there. And
It's
I
okay.
feel you, because I tried to watch it a couple times and I kind of stopped and started, and I actually was able to get into it. So it's awesome. Go ahead.
My number 14 is the Music Man.
The Music Man.
Yeah, because
That's
it's got little Opie
Trouble
Kingan
right
in it.
here in River City.
Yeah. Trouble. Right here in
Trouble
River
right here.
City. Capital T that rounds up P that stands for pool. Oh yeah, we got trouble.
Right here in River City. Okay, well, again, no singing on the show.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the
And
Music Man
Shirley
is an
Jones didn't really do
awesome
her
one.
singing in that. Yep. So what do
What
you
else?
got? What do you got? What do you got next for 13?
Well, no, you can go ahead. I'll let you
No,
go
no.
because I spend a lot of time on mine. Mhm.
Well, no, that's all I got to say about the Music Man. But
Okay.
my
Next
13,
on,
my
huh?
go ahead. Next on your list. Go ahead.
Next on my list. Speaking of the inspiration for starting this show, um, it was Zoe's Infinite music playlist, and I kind of mocked that name a little bit in the show that I was doing. But one reason I was inspired to do it is because I read a tweet on the show. The show tweeted out asking, "Hey, what song would you like to hear the actor sing, or one of the young actors?" And I'm like, forget him. I want you to have Peter Gallagher do something from this next movie, and that's The Idolmaker, and that was on my list. And sure enough, Peter Gallagher not only liked, he retweeted me and commented back.
Wow,
That's so
nice.
cool. Cesare. And again,
Yes.
Idolmaker is one of those small little movies that if you probably missed it, it came out, I think, in 80,
Yeah,
and
something like
it
the 80s.
it went under the radar, but it was one of those movies that got new life, I think, on cable. And once they put it on HBO Cinemax, it just got played over and over again. And a couple of my movies on this list, I think, became more classic or more iconic because of that replay. All right, you're next. You're up.
My next one is, and I have a couple of his movies on here, but Gene Kelly and American in Paris.
An American.
I love Gene. Now I'm gonna tell you a little secret about me and Gene Kelly, our relationship here. In my mind,
You
he's my.
met Gene Kelly.
Yeah, I never met Gene Kelly, but in my mind, he's kind of like one of my dance coaches because
Okay.
I would take Gene Kelly's moves from his old movies, and when I went in the club, and I was a very good club dancer back in the day, where I used to battle people and win, I always won. And I used to, yeah, what? I used to use moves
I think when
from Jim
false
Kelly
statements
movies.
are made in the news and the media on TV shows, there should be
Well, anyway,
an alert.
I use moves inspired. I use hip hop moves, but then I also infuse them with Jim Kelly inspired moves,
Gene
and that's
Kelly.
why I know Gene Kelly
Because Jim
inspired moves.
Kelly moves, that's a
Yeah,
whole different
yeah.
thing.
Well, I did. I had to do that after the fact when the guys got mad at me. I had to do my deal. But anyway,
Jim Kelly
the
moves are
Gene
a
Kelly.
totally different
Yeah,
thing.
I infuse my Gene Kelly moves with the hip hop, and that's why I never lost because I would do like weird stuff.
Okay. So that's An American in Paris. Oh, you know what movie we don't have on our list, but I'm going to
Hmm.
throw it in right now as an honorable mention since we're
Hmm.
talking Gene Kelly. Xanadu.
Wow, we don't have Xanadu.
We don't have Xanadu on the list. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go because we got to burn through this list. We'll be here all night.
Yeah.
Next on my list is Mamma Mia. And again, like I said, my criteria were these musicals because I always used to say I hate musicals and I hate child actors. So for me, Annie is torture. Thank you. Thank you.
No, the first Annie,
Thank you very much.
the
We're here
second
always
Annie,
trying to
the
feel.
second Annie with Jamie Foxx was pretty good.
What? Okay, but again, it's hard for me to watch. Again, musicals, child actors. But again, if the songs are singable and you can hum along,
It
and
was ABBA song,
I'm not
so
the world's biggest ABBA fan, but I found that I really enjoyed Mamma Mia and enjoyed this. What in the world was that?
is that your phone?
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought it was a call. It was actually a text because I do have the phone hooked up.
Oh, I was
And
getting excited.
yeah,
And then put the
I
number
know.
up because
I
somebody
thought
wants
we
to
had a
call
call
and talk
coming
to
in.
us.
I was like, "Ah, there's a call," and it was just a text. Sorry. And again, if I turn the phone off, I
You
won't
won't
hear
hear
a
it, but that's all
call.
right.
So that's why we have it kind of
Yeah,
hooked
that's
in.
just a
I'm going
check.
to turn the volume down on it so it doesn't disturb us. But Mamma Mia is my pick. And you know what else I want to say about some of my picks? You'll notice that a lot of them have. Oh, how do you call it? A lot of them have been either remade, sequel, remade, or have had one, two, even three sequels, and that's just a testament to how good my list is. But
I want to before we go on, I want to do this.
all right, you
I
go
want
next on your list.
next on my list when we do that, I want to say hi to Carrie Stevens,
Hi,
Richard Dick
Carrie.
Long, Chris Birch, my
Hey,
buddy
Chris.
Chris Birch I grew up with, Lorraine Stevens, Rainey
Oh,
that we
right.
grew up with back in the day, and Sass. She was the maid of honor in my wedding. But I'm gonna say hi to all those people. Thanks for tuning in. Stick with us. We're gonna have some fun with musicals. Kathy's gonna give you the number. If anybody wants to call in, please call us up.
Call in. Say
My
hi.
next one on my list is Chicago. I love Chicago.
Oh, I didn't put Chicago on my list, and I
Nope.
should have, because
Chicago.
I love me some
I
Chicago.
love because you always mention Chicago.
I
Lips,
do.
slits. Yeah. Yeah. Love
Lip
Chicago.
shits.
Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
oh,
I
that's my
what was
favorite.
that song that Queen Latifah did?
My
Mama,
Now,
Mama.
and now I got the other mama song in my head, so I'm just a mess. Um, but no, I left out Chicago, and that was ooh, I shouldn't have done
Do
that.
your next one. Do your next one. Don't mention that, but do your next one because I know
Okay.
it's on my list, but it's on. But it comes in at
No,
number.
I'm not doing my next one. I'm actually gonna skip it because I know that my next one is on your list. It's higher up on your list, so I
Yeah.
will give it to you. And actually, I watched a couple of these movies this week because, well, again, I'm addicted to the Hamiltons. I do watch that a lot, and I have
Okay.
copies of
Oh.
half these different movies. But next on my list is Sparkle. Now, when I say Sparkle, I'm going old school Sparkle. I'm going way back Sparkle and the 1976 Sparkle with Philip Michael Thomas, which you probably know
Wow.
from Miami Vice, but he
Hmm.
sang as well as Irene Cara because again, that remakey Sparkle, that's trash. And I'm sorry, Whitney Houston fans, but trash. And the original Sparkle, oh, with Lynette McKee, oh,
Oh man. Yeah.
sister can't fly on one
Uh-huh.
wing. People,
Hmm.
tell me if you know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments if you've seen Sparkle. If you haven't seen Sparkle, well, that's a shame, but okay. Um, life goes on, but you need to check that out. And the interesting thing about Sparkle, most of the movie musicals, you will find that the original artists that are on the movie actually do the album, but for some reason, um, the studio did not release an album that featured like Philip Michael Thomas, Irene Cara, Lynette McKee. Although I think they did very fine jobs in that and singing. Although, oh, "Eye on the Sparrow," which Irene Cara sang, and she okay, but I'm sorry if you're not Mahalia, you should just leave that song alone. But it
I
is.
wait. Lauryn Hill did a really good job of that when she did Sister Act 2.
But is she Mahalia Jackson?
No.
Thank you. All right. I'm sorry because I control the sound effects. I will work on getting them right. Okay. And here's the thing with what was I saying? Oh, Sparkle. Oh, the soundtrack. The actual soundtrack, and they were all songs written by Curtis Mayfield, was actually recorded by Aretha Franklin.
Mm.
So you had a quality soundtrack because
Yeah.
Aretha can kill a song, and
And
she did an
Curtis could write a
excellent
song.
job. But I really always wish they had released a cast version of that album. And who knows? All those cast members are still living. It could happen. It could happen. All right, let's
Okay.
move on. You can go
Okay,
with your next
I
list.
want since you skip one, I'm going to do two at the same time. My next one is Satisfaction.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You are.
Yes. Satisfaction
Satisfaction.
with Julia Roberts and Justine Bateman and Liam Neeson. Yes, Satisfaction. Because I like to see when she's hitting the cowbell and the cowbell. Boop, 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 and she starts singing and she's all up on her. She's all talking about was all on the mic and everything. And it's just like, it's cool.
Okay,
It's
a minute
Satisfaction
you're
to
gonna
work.
tell me light of day. Um,
Okay, and then
Satisfaction though, Kenny, really?
yeah,
I thought it was a
Satisfaction.
musical.
Yeah, it's a
I mean, we
musical
got
because it's a band.
classics
It's
like
about
The
it.
Music Man.
It's about no. It's about a band that plays. And this movie should get more credit than it deserves.
Okay.
Satisfaction. I'm sticking with it. My next one is Cabin in the Sky.
Oh, you're going old school.
I went old
Cabin
school with
in the
that,
Sky.
and I meant to. I was I was doing some stuff, and I meant to look up the actor's name in Cabin in the Sky. But in this Cabin in the Sky movie, I was more the guy that played the villain in this. The guy that, not the devil, but the guy that played his nemesis for Echo Merman's Heart. That's the one I liked in this movie. Who brought it alive for, especially when they were doing the bar scene and the club scene rather, and he was trying to impress the girl, and he was, doing all his dancing and tap dancing and singing. That was great for me. I love that. So yeah. So what's your next one?
Okay, next on my list is, now I know you had this on your list earlier, but this was one of the ones I think we both shared. So you took it off your list and made room for some of your other ones, and
Mhm.
that is the five. I don't know if my camera will. Uh, Five heartbeats. I got nothing but love for you, baby, and yeah, that five heartbeats was just a fun. Uh,
Um,
it was kind of depressing and sad at some points, but we talked about that in some of our other specials. Um,
my
when we
favorite scene. My favorite scene is when they won the contest. They were getting booed, and they were set up to fail, and they did it without the music, and they just started like acapella and everything.
Oh yeah,
And I
night
like the scene
means
where Robert
sorry.
Townsend takes the piano player and pushes him off the piano and moves his chair, and then as the other guys come up, you see his brother and the other band members like coming up and they squaring off like what y'all gonna do, and then Robert Townsend starts playing and then Eddie Kane Jr. goes, "Oh, they're hot! They're hot! Stand up!" And the
I,
girl
I
sitting in the chair like this. Oh, she's like, oh, because the girl gets excited and she's sitting in the chair.
so
Okay,
five
that was it.
heartbeats. All
Five
right,
heartbeats.
we're gonna let you
Now,
take it for the next one.
okay, the next one is Graffiti Bridge. I had to have some. I got some more prints coming, but first I got to go. Graffiti Bridge is a good movie. It's a great movie. It's one big music video.
You are just a biased Prince fan. And I will tell you today, I was listening to Prince radio on Sirius XM, and actually any of you folks with Sirius XM, you got to check it out. You got to use the app and check out. They have specialized channels for folks like U2 and Queen, but these limited edition channels for Michael Jackson and Prince. And I listened to a program today that was Wendy and Lisa talking
Oh,
in some Prince songs and giving like some behind the scenes stories. It was really cool, really awesome.
wow, wow.
Check it out if you can.
Okay, what you got next?
And before we check out any more, again, thank you for joining us. This is Kathy and Kenny explaining pop culture. You can find us on YouTube. K-Walk Comedy, I think, is my channel to find us. But if you find one of our videos, click on the channel. You can join us live and comment there. Also on Facebook, we have a page, Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture with a K. And if you would come by the page, like the page, give us a suggestion if there's a pop culture area you want to talk about. We can even have you as a guest on the
Yes,
show.
we would love to
We
have
were
you as
flashing
guest.
the number up too if you'd like to call in. I know some of you
Please
join
call in.
us from Kenny's feed because he usually streams a watch party on his page. And I can't post your comments, but if you join us on our page, we can definitely get your comments up. And of course, our pops are our own Papa Joe Jackson. Oh no,
I'm watching. Dad's
I thought
watching.
this was Pop. Maybe Pop's Staples.
I was told to be on my A game today because I can be replaced.
Because
I
Bruce
can
can
lose
do it 'cause
lose
he's
my
been on
last
before,
name and my junior. Yeah, I was told today,
and we know
but
Ed Brown
but
is always in the wings.
yeah,
So
but here's the thing: he's going to get on me for this and not being on point. He's my own father has not bought my album yet. He's not downloaded my album yet.
uh, okay, that's not his fault. It might be a technology challenged because he was asking me today how he could get it, and I was telling him about iTunes. I think he's had $30 sitting in iTunes that he doesn't even know how to access. So I have to help him because he did reach out because he wanted to know how to get it and whether he needed to download Spotify or iTunes. And that was on me. If you haven't gotten it, it is called
Sewing Paper by Kenny Walker Jr.
Throwing
Check me
Paper.
out. It's
Kenny
on
Walker
all major
Jr.
platforms: iTunes, Amazon, Apple Music,
But
Spotify, Pandora,
can we do the
iHeartRadio.
commercial and just take a bit, take a
Sure,
beat?
why not? Yeah.
And we can do this, it's all one love. Do it for the world, because see, that's what I'm thinking of. This racism thing, it's just another form of hate. Let's throw it all away so we can all be great. And if I can teach the world to appreciate color, if I can teach the world to love one another, I can die a truly free man because I live the best way I can.
All right. Little commercial break. I got so cool. And that's a link on Amazon where you can catch that album. It is an affiliate link, which means it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give a boost to support this show. So if you want to check that out, if you want to support the show, you can do it in the comments. You can do it with a like or a thumbs up. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And again, just being here, being a part of the stream, something we started doing since we were in quarantine, not going out on Saturday nights, obviously not dating. So we are just chilling, hanging out, having fun, remembering some of these movies. And next on my list is Bye Birdie. Time for us to say
Wow.
bye. Oh, come on.
Wow. Bye Birdie.
That movie is just awesomeness.
Yes,
And
it is. It
a
is.
fun show. Just One Last Kiss. And again, my criteria was it had to have those songs that you could sing
You
again.
know what song I was really liking that after watching it several times
Ed
over?
Sullivan.
No, not Ed Sullivan. It was the song that they do when they're in the nightclub or the hangout, and Hugo's singing one song, she's singing another song,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
and him
And
singing
it
another
does. It has
song.
a jazzy kind of feel to it,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I like that
and
song.
it kind of comes together. Yeah, I know what you're talking about
Yeah,
exactly.
I
And
forget what I got.
it's that mixing the genres, and that was one thing I loved. My favorite number in Xanadu is when they're talking about the nightclub, and the young guy Michael Beck is talking about how it's going to be this disco-y roller disco place and all the funky 80s music, and then Gene
Yeah,
Kelly is like, no, we need a jazz band like the Andrew Sisters, kind of forget about
yeah,
the blues tonight, lover.
yep.
Come on,
I
take
got
me
that on my
home.
Spotify playlist. That song. Yeah.
So yeah, so definitely has to be on the Spotify playlist. Speaking of playlists, you can find this playlist in the description for our show, as well as a link to the um, Internet Movie Database, where you can find links to all
Wow.
these songs. And the cool thing about IMDb, if you haven't checked it out, totally not sponsored, but we'll tell you about it, is that they often give you a list of where you can find some of these movies, how you can stream them and get them. And I know usually we give you the streaming information,
Yeah.
but again, we are just talking musicals. So next on your list, and this is all you, and I know why it's on here. So
Singing in the
you
rain.
can tell a little story about it. I'm gonna sip
Well,
some more.
singing. There's no story about singing in the rain. Go ahead, we'll sing some water. But Singing in the Rain is a great show. And here's the thing about it: Singing in the Rain
Oh,
was
I was
about
thinking of the
an
next movie.
actress that went from the silent movies to live action talking movies, and she couldn't talk well. She was a silent movie actress, and she wasn't too bright, really. Well, she was, but she didn't talk too bright. Anyway, they found another actress to um, mimic her words for now that it's a talkie, because this movie was about the times when talkie started. But the behind the scenes thing is um, the actress who, oh, what was her name? Not Carrie Fisher's mother. Why is this still in my mind? Debbie
Debbie
Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds, who played the actress that lip synced for the actress that couldn't sing, her part was actually lip synced too. So somebody was singing for Debbie Reynolds on that movie. Even though Debbie Reynolds couldn't sing, I guess they didn't they found somebody whose voice they thought was more appropriate for that. So somebody was singing for Debbie Reynolds on that movie. So it was like a triple thing, and so yeah. But Singing in the Rain is one of my favorite
And
movies.
yet another Gene Kelly. So
We got another one coming up. It's at the top of the list. So
okay, and
it's
even
the
more
one.
Gene Kelly. Oh yeah, you
I
do.
got another Gene Kelly
Okay,
in another place.
next
Two more
on my
presidential.
list is a movie, and you know who was a surprise fan of this movie?
Who?
Um, your father.
Really?
I'm telling
I
you,
didn't
I
like
can't.
I wasn't
I
too
came home one
enthused with
day
this
and
movie.
he was so far into this movie, like you don't even know how far he was into this movie, and that is Pitch Perfect. Okay, is it a perfect musical? No. Can you predict how it's going to turn out? Oh yes. I mean, are the songs original? No. They're doing re-recordings or a cappella versions of all these popular songs. But there is, I don't know, that's one of the movies, kind of like The Idolmaker. It I mean, I think people did see it in the theater, but it got a second life with
Hmm.
those endless showings on cable, and I think that's probably why it wound up having a Pitch Perfect 2 and a Pitch Perfect 3 that weren't quite pitch perfect, and I think they were trying to capture that magic of that first movie, and it's
The
something
girls,
underdog stories, those kinda
yeah,
like
the girls
girl
really like the
power.
first Pitch Forward. They like the Pitch Perfect. They like the first one.
Mhm.
I think they like the second one. I think Kiana saw the third one, and she came back. She's like, "Yeah, that was trash."
Yeah, yeah. It was so funny. I think, when you talk about sequels, I remember and I believe we were here down in, North Carolina at the time because we saw it at a theater that actually no longer exists. It's just been and even the theater that they have now is gone, and that's just a sad thing, because of the quarantine and the pandemic, well, no, actually, that theater, I think, left Statesville before this whole thing broke out. I think it was in January. In any case, we saw Toy Story 3. Was it Toy Story 3 or 2? It might have been 2. And I think it was me, you, and George, and it was down here. Do you remember that at all?
No,
No? Because I
I
remember
can't. I
so
can't remember last week. How can I remember? No.
I remember so clearly, like, coming out of the theater, and George, like, totally summed up the movie and gave it a review as compared to the first one that it just blew me away at the time because it was like,
What was that? That was Toy
little
Story.
kid, how is he so astute, you know?
Okay, let me tell you, George has a history of Toy Story because he associates Toy Story with his life. Because the movies came out when the kid was about his age for each movie. Like
Oh,
in the
wow.
last one, when the boy went to college, that was about the same time within a year or so that George went to college. So he kind of he we talked about this. He was wondering why I didn't like Toy Story so much, and he said, "Yeah, I kind of equate that with my life."
Wow.
But
I d I didn't even think about that. That's
yeah, I
interesting.
didn't. Yeah,
I know
but
he gave the most, amazing review of it as a sequel. He goes, "The first
George,
one had a
yeah.
better story, but this one had." But
George
anyway.
is very in tune. Yeah, we argue about movies all the time. But
Oh,
my next one is,
mhm.
and now that we're on the subject of George, my next movie is the Goofy movie, which is me and George used to watch that a lot. And I put this on because it's a musical and it's got great numbers. Tevin Campbell is one of the voices for the main celebrity
Oh,
who
that's cool.
sings. And there was one song at the end called Eye to Eye was Tevin Campbell and Rosie Gaines
Oh,
singing
wow.
together. Rosie Gaines is backing them up on it.
Speaking
So
of
it's a
Graffiti Bridge,
yeah, graffiti, yep. And but yeah, so my next one is Goofy movie. What's your next one?
Goofy movie. Okay, so I know if Bruce is still watching, he's not anymore because he's probably going, "How did the Goofy movie make it?" And Sound of Music didn't. But okay, the next one, I'm gonna take such a hit for these choices, but I stand
Yes.
by them, and you know what? I can probably sing them all off key as they may be, and that is Frozen. And I just love that movie. And it was just and it was one of those movies where everybody's talking about it. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna see these Disney movies. It's for kids. It's for kids. And as it turned out, at the time, I think that's when our mother was actually in the hospital, and she was in the hospital for probably a good month prior to open heart surgery. And I had a copy of that movie that I forced her to watch, which probably, if you're a heart patient and you're trying to just get better, you probably don't want to sit up and watch Frozen. And
I,
that's what
quick,
she reminds
quick.
me of, forcing her to watch Frozen.
I was
Let
talking to
it
George the
go,
other week.
people. Let it
I was
go.
I was talking to George the other week and was saying how another parent friend of his was saying how his kids love Frozen, and that George is going to get hit by the Frozen bug with Milo, and thank you, Bruce, for liking the Goofy movie.
I
Um,
used to have
anyway,
such respect for Bruce.
Goofy was a great father-son movie. Anyway, George was saying how his friend was saying, his very pompous friend was saying how, yeah, your kid's gonna really like Frozen, and you're gonna have Frozen all the time, and this, that, and the other. And George is like, yeah, no, that's not happening. I'm not doing that. That is not happening. My kid is not liking Frozen. It's not happening. But real quick,
All over it.
I want to
Let
shout
it
out to
go. Let
I
it
want to
go,
shout out to
George.
David
Let it go.
Harris, Edwina Brown Walters,
Oh, hey.
Edwina's on there. Heather Wright Lee, my girl Heather, James Hale, and
Shout out.
Michael Harrison. And of course, our dad's on there. I just want to shout out to people who's listening to them. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support. And your next one is.
My next one, and I know this is another one.
Oh, no. You did
you
Frozen.
don't
I got the next one. I had the next one because you did Frozen.
Okay.
Okay. And my next one is Grease 2. Is on my list. Grease 2, which is way.
Okay, nobody really likes Grease 2. See, here's the thing. Grease 2 was a horrible movie. Really. I don't know why I put it on the list. It shouldn't be on the list. Why should I have Grease 2 on my list at all? Really, it should be Grease. Just Grease.
Okay. Grease 2. I don't know why she does that. Grease 2 is way better than Grease 1. Grease is not on anybody's list, but Grease 2 is a great movie. Grease is not on anybody's list. Grease 2, however, is on my list because it's a movie that I can sing all the songs to, and it's a great movie, and it's a great musical. I wish life was like a musical like Grease, where people just break out in song and dance. Go ahead to your next movie, Kathy.
See, and I also get to control when the comments come up because Bruce had originally put that up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to flash that." But actually, I wasn't going to flash it, but it hit the next comment anyway.
Your mother put on my post that I should lose my card.
You're gonna lose your card.
My own parents. Neither one of them downloaded my album, but they're telling me how to do my job.
And again, I don't think it was because they didn't want to download your album. It was not the desire. I think it was the ability. So I will take the hit on that because I got to show them how to get it done. Okay.
Okay.
That's my fault. I'll own that.
I feel a certain kind of way.
I will own that because even though, it's not like I haven't been sharing with people, hey, there's a link. You can get it. It's in the description. But okay.
So what's your next one?
My next one is, and I know you don't like mine.
I could not follow this movie. I could not follow this movie.
I really enjoyed this movie, and maybe this is why, because someone recommended it to me.
Tell them what the movie is.
Can I do the build up and then get to the movie?
All
right. My next movie, it was actually recommended to me because I was at a meeting, and before we actually started the meeting, we were sharing some good things, just like some positive things. And this gentleman had actually, his name's Chris Layton. He's from a company called Capturing Kids' Hearts, but he shared with us this movie he saw, and he said it was so uplifting and made him feel good. And at the time, I registered it, and I thought, oh, I need to go try to see that in the movie. Unfortunately, I never got to see it in the theater. But again, like a lot of my movies on my list, once it comes on cable and I see it a million times, I learn the songs, I love it. And that's The Greatest Showman. And I know it is not an accurate, maybe telling of what happened with P.T. Barnum, but the songs are so good. I really enjoyed it. Just like I actually saw L.A. Story La La Land in the movie theater and was not that crazy about it. But actually, with a couple of watchings on cable, there were a couple of songs I liked. It didn't make the list, but
I saw La La Land. I saw La La Land once.
Showman, and I'm telling you, what's her name? Keela Settle. She does a version of this in a rehearsal, and I posted that video. Every time I come across it, I post it on YouTube of the one song, "Look Out, 'Cause Here I Come." Um, uh, This Is Me. I'm like, I was trying to get to the chorus in my mind. This Is Me. That song just blows me away. And when you talk about lip syncing, and although most of the actors and performers, including Dawson's Creek's Michelle Williams, did all their own singing, the one actress who played Jenny Lynn, who was supposed to be this world-renowned singer, even though that actress Rebecca Ferguson could sing, they actually did dub her song because it was supposed to be like the greatest voice ever heard. So she was dubbed, but everybody else did their own singing. It has some really, really, I think, fine performances, musical performances. I'm no Zac Efron fan, but I thought he was amazing. Zendaya. uh, I think you need to give that movie another shot. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
so my next movie is
I'm
Across the
not throwing away
Universe.
my shot.
Mm.
I'm not throwing away my shot. Oh, I'm sorry. I just
Yeah, you
fell
went
back
back to
to
Hamilton.
I
Yeah,
went back to okay, what's next on the list? Let's go, let's go.
Across the
Come on,
Universe.
let's go, let's go, let's go. La
Across,
Bamba didn't make our list.
no, Obama didn't make no list. No, not in the Buddy Holly story didn't make our list either. But anyway, yeah, I
This
know.
list
I know.
stinks.
No, it doesn't. It's great. It's got 3 Prince movies on
A
it. It's
world
great.
where you have the Goofy movie and not La Bamba?
A
That's not
world
a
where you
world.
have the Goofy movie and not Sound of Music. And we also didn't put The Wiz or The Wizard of Oz on it. So,
Wow. And you know what? I think with The Wizard of Oz, it was a thing of, I don't know. I know it's a musical, but I guess it escapes me because you see it so much and every year. And okay, go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay,
Oh,
my
and you
next
know what?
movie is
Go ahead.
Across
Yeah, we're like a
the
bad
Universe.
Zoom call.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking at the same time.
Yeah, no. My next oh, your mother put on my post, Kathy, your card is in danger.
The Greatest Showman is good though. Okay.
Yeah, probably
All
off that
right.
Frozen thing. But my next one is Across the Universe, which is a movie with Beatles music on it. And this is such a great movie. And the way they do the Beatles songs, they redo the Beatles songs, but a lot of them redo the Beatles songs are remixes. And the way they do I Want to Hold Your Hand is a slow version of I Want to Hold Your Hand, and it is phenomenal. The way they do Come Together is Joe Crocker coming in and saying Come Together, which is kind of like the original, but it's kind of more bluesy the way they do it. There's a couple of songs that they do. The way they do Get By with a Little Help of My Friends. Awesome. Awesome. Because what they do is they change a lot of the musical arrangements of these songs. And the one that'll make you just chills up your spine is when they do Let It Be. Oh my God. Let It Be. Off this, if you don't get anything from this movie, the scene where they do Let It Be is awesome. Your next movie, Kathy.
I'm sorry. I gotta flash the comments, especially when they make me laugh that we don't have the
Oh,
Wiz
no
or the
Wiz or Wizard of Oz. You're
killing
killing
me,
me, Smalls.
Smalls.
We only have an hour, Bruce. We only have an hour. And we're running past that. So go ahead.
Oh, what I have next? Oh, when you're a jet all the way. West Side Story. I have to have
It's a
West Side
classic.
Story.
It's a classic. It's an awesome
That's my
classic.
classic. I don't have Sound of Music or The Wizard of Oz, but I do have West Side
West
Story.
Side Story. You can't get
And
any better than that. You can't
I
get
mean,
any better than West Side Story.
Shakespearean, right? It's Romeo and Juliet. It's
Yes.
I just love
Yes.
it. How many chino, how
Um,
many bullets? Okay, I'm sorry.
my next one is I think this is a very underrated movie. I was on a website earlier today on a Facebook group that I'm in, a Prince Facebook group, that they were saying, somebody just saw this movie and they wondered what everybody thought about it. And a couple people liked my comment because I thought this was a very underrated movie that was done extremely well. Prince actually acted in this movie, and he did a fantastic job. His acting in this movie was actually a little better than Purple Rain, and of course a little better than Graffiti Bridge. But Under the Cherry Moon was a great musical movie. It was done in black and white, kind of old stylish, but kind of new, and it was a great movie with a great storyline. And you know, so your next one I have never seen.
You've never seen Gypsy?
I've never seen it
Oh
or
my
heard of it.
gosh, Gypsy. Oh,
I've never seen it or heard of it.
oh my God. Rosalind Russell just slams it in this. Next to playing Auntie Mame, it's one of my favorite roles that she has done. This movie is awesome. She is the bomb in that
The
movie.
bomb.
She's the bomb. Any excuse to play the sound effects. But anyway, I love just love Gypsy. And actually this I got 2 Natalie Wood movies in a row, but West Side Story, she didn't do her own singing because she can't sing. Gypsy, she did do her own singing because again, her character couldn't sing, and that was the whole point because they were in vaudeville and she was really bad. Um, but she had nothing for talent. But again, Gypsy is one of my favorite musicals. And speaking of which, we reached out and we asked people, hey, what is your favorite musical? And I just want to shout out because my mom did answer because we didn't get to her favorite musical of all time is
Which is
Carmen Jones. She
oh
loves
wow.
Carmen
Yeah.
Jones, and that's not on the list, but shout out to Dorothy Dandridge. Oh my gosh, Carmen
Yes.
Jones. And
Sis
also she
Thomas.
mentioned My Fair Lady, and her other movie is your next movie, so I'll let you take it away.
Stormy weather. Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather.
No
I
singing.
love the
No
scene.
singing. No
I know.
singing.
I-
Okay.
There's a
All right,
couple
go.
scenes I love in this movie. The one is Fats Waller. This movie made me a Fats Waller fan. It made me look up Fats Waller and listen to some more of his music, which I love. I have a lot of his music on my Spotify. And the scene where he's doing the sand dance, I love that scene. And of course, the Nicholas brothers who
Oh man.
do that dance scene, which Bing Crosby, no, Fred Astaire was in awe of back in those days. Fred Astaire was like, one of the renowned, like, entertainer dancers, and he's like, that dance, he said, was the best dance sequence he's ever seen in his life. So, yeah. So your next movie, I like
My
your next
next
movie.
movie Oh, my next movie, I think it was on your original list, and since we had
Yes,
duplicates, you took it off your list, so that I could, keep it on to talk about, because another one of my movies, on my list is on your list, so but, I had All That Jazz. All That
yes,
Jazz, and I earlier you had, Chicago, which, was, the original production was, choreographed and directed by Bob Fosse. All That Jazz was not necessarily a biopic because it wasn't necessarily Bob Fosse. Was not the name of the character. The character was called Joe Gideon, but it was modeled kind of like the Five Heartbeats was modeled after the Dells. All That Jazz was modeled after the life of
Bob Fosse.
Bob Fosse and Roy Scheider, and everybody knows him from Jaws, but in this
I was
movie,
very shocked that he could sing and dance like that,
I thought he
and it
killed
was
it. I know.
the
Who expected
two numbers I love in this is "Take Off with Us." I love "Take Off
Take
with
Off
Us,"
With Us is
and the
excellent.
last number he did with Ben Vereen, "Bye Bye Life."
I really like the cute little number they did where they were just it wasn't really a number. They were just lip syncing to a Peter Allen song.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that
that
was just
yeah.
there was just a lot of just warmth and heart in that scene that I really did enjoy. And on your list next,
Is on the town,
on the town.
with Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra.
Bronx is up
Um,
and the battery's down. I'm sorry.
yeah. It's a great movie.
Favorite line.
And it's a great. They have great scenes from actual New York. They're at Rockefeller Center at one point. And the one thing I like about this movie is, and the memory I have from this movie is, I used to watch this movie with George when he was a kid, and he used to call it the Three Sailors.
The three step.
So, when I say Three Sailors, George knows exactly what I'm talking about. Your number one movie, Kathy.
My number one movie is here on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. I mean, if you know me or have known me, and uh, I was so thankful that my good friend Natalie Kelly, who's now all the way out in Boise, Idaho. Hi, Natalie, if you tuned in. She was actually on the team that I work with when I worked at Troutman Middle School. So when they gave me a farewell cake, they actually put the logo for this movie on my cake because she knew I was such
Wow.
a fan, which is so
Nice.
cool. I should have flashed
Nice.
the picture. I don't have time to pull it up, but that is Fame, and actually, it's apropos that's on my list this week as the director Alan Parker just passed
Oh,
yesterday,
wow.
who had directed among uh, a million different movies, but Fame from 1980. And again, I'm talking original 1980 Fame. Like so many movies on my list, there have been remakes, and there was a lame Fame remake, and
Wow.
we don't want to have anything to do with that.
Wow, you calling them out like that? And that
It
original
was
Fame
very
80s
lame.
movie.
And again, if you think back in 1980 in this movie, it dealt with all these different issues from
Yes.
everything from teen
It-
pregnancy to interracial relationships to sexuality to
yeah.
just all this stuff. And it was just, and it had that look and feel of the New York at that time, that late 70s New York feel. So,
Real
but
real quick, I want to say hi to my man JJ who's listening to us right now. Hey JJ, how you doing?
and
But with Fame, um, it brought everybody's awareness to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
ah,
Yeah, everybody loves that scene. And Gene Anthony Ray, who passed away a few years ago, who was a star in Fame, actually
mm,
went to the school that Fame was about,
yeah,
and he starred in the TV show that was made from the movie. They did a TV show, and Gene Anthony Ray and Debbie Allen were both in the movie and the TV show.
what do you call
So
that? Wicked. That was.
Wicked, yeah. What do you call that?
Times.
Wicked. And he's dancing and he's doing his grind and everything, and all the women are going after him. Meanwhile, he's really not into that.
But now,
But
yeah,
so,
Alan Parker had just a long and storied career. He had also did the musical Bugsy Malone. That didn't make
oh
our,
yeah,
but that was Alan
we
Parker.
could have been
What
anything that
you
we
call it?
wanted to
Shoot
be.
the Moon. I don't. Do you remember Shoot the Moon? It was a smaller. Albert Finney was in it, and but
It sounds very familiar. I think I do.
yeah, yeah. So, another musical that was directed by Alan Parker, so you know he had a kind of probably a love of musicals, was The Commitments. So I don't know if you
Oh, I love The Commitments. I'm so sorry I don't have that on my list.
have The Commitments on the list. The
I don't
Commitments.
have a Commitments on the list. Oh my God, I love that movie.
But again, I think in his Internet Movie Database, it lists a lot of like video shorts and things that he's did. So he, I think, was a true movie music fan or a fan
Yes.
of images and music. So, but
I
Alan
really, I
Parker.
really would
Again,
love.
he did serious movies as well. It's like Mississippi Burning, and Angela's Ashes. But again, he also directed one of my favorite movies of all time, and it is Fame. I think I have seen it over 300 times, and that's
Yes,
sad
yes,
but
it's
true.
well worth it. Well worth it. And you know what? I really, before I do my last movie, I really would love if the world was really like a musical where people just broke out in song and dance. I would love that. That would be great. I think it would be very romantic.
I'm cracking up with these comments. I love
Did I
it.
really miss Grease? Or
But
are we going to
did
have
I
a problem?
miss Grease?
Bruce, we got a problem. We got a problem.
I
We're
didn't have
not doing Grease. We
Grease.
did Grease 2, which is way better than Grease. Grease 2, which is way better than Grease.
Grease
Okay?
was horrible.
We
I
did Grease 2.
no, yeah, you know what? We didn't have Grease on there, and Grease is one of those movies that I know all the lines to. We'll have to do musicals part 2 one week.
No, we don't. We don't have Grease. Grease, we had Grease 2.
But I do like Grease because now I'm thinking
No.
I didn't put Hairspray on the list. I'm like,
Oh, we
now
didn't put Hair.
my
Hair.
mom,
The movie Hair.
I Hair. Well, I wasn't as big a fan of
I
Hair.
liked Hair because it had Nell. It had a young Nell Carter on it.
hmm I,
On Hair. I liked Hair.
I
But
shout out to Marcy. And I actually worked with Marcy when I originally worked at East Middle before coming back to it now. And she said some of her favorite musicals were West Side Story and My Fair Lady. So
remember
My Fair
when we
Lady didn't make the
remember my
list.
eighth,
Our mom also put My Fair Lady down, and that did not make the list.
remember when I should have put My Fair Lady, because remember when we did our 8th grade play, I did my 8th grade play and we did My Fair Lady, but since we grew up in an all black town, we called it My Foxy Lady.
I do.
Instead of a ballroom dance, we had a disco.
I remember.
I was Henry Higgins.
Yes, you were the star.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
But anyway, what?
Bruce says, I just lost the sound, so I can't hear the lame excuses you're making for leaving Grease off the list.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Boy. All right. Well, look. I'm going to go to my
that.
number one movie. My number one movie off this list is the greatest movie musical of all time, and you know what it is because it's me doing it. But I haven't mentioned it yet because you know it's coming. Purple Rain by Prince. Purple Rain. Purple Rain. Get your lighters out and light your candles. And Purple Rain. Purple Rain. And then the thing I loved about this movie is back when that movie came out, he did a Purple Rain tour, and my sister and I were at the Purple Rain tour.
I did see the Purple Rain
we
tour.
did sort of me, you. I had a girl. I had my girlfriend at the time was Portia, and you brought Carol Chandler, and the four of us went to go see Purple Rain with Sheila E. opening up. But Purple Rain is what nobody expected to be. It was a great movie, and it's a love story, and it's like, oh my god! If you haven't seen Purple Rain and you've been living under a rock,
I will give you
Purple
that.
Rain.
Purple Rain was actually on my list. I didn't have it quite high as number one, although that's your third Prince movie on the list, and I think it's a stretch. I probably could have left one of those Prince movies off and put on Grease, or I don't think The Sound of Music was going to make it. That just wasn't going to happen.
You could have took off your Purple Rain and put Grease on.
I probably could have taken Purple Rain off my list and added Grease.
Bruce, you are like fixed. Bruce is fixed.
I think I might have added The Wiz maybe before Grease. I don't know.
Yeah, I would. You can't win.
I'm singing. Okay, but we're way over, so we need
way over.
We need to wrap it
Not
up.
way over. We're a few minutes over, but we started a few minutes late, so we're good.
A few minutes late because my countdown timer didn't count down because I didn't share the screen right, and it was a whole StreamYard thing. I like StreamYard, but I'm hoping that we switch to Ecamm, and that's where we might wind up broadcasting from. Just
shout out to Elijah Bay and Paul Palmer who catching us on the end of this. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to us. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to us, on whether you're on my page, on my watch party, or you're on our main page. Thank you. Make sure you hit our main page, like our main page, and follow us for more because we're going to be doing this every week. And we love doing this and hanging out, which is something I look forward to every Saturday night.
Yes, we love it. We love hanging out and with each other, with you guys, with the comments. Thank you so much for being a part of our stream. We appreciate you.
Yes. Give yourself a hand. Thank you.
We'll see you next Saturday, 30.
Yeah.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.